How's it going, guys? This is the American Foot Channel, and we actually have some U.S. men's national team players in Europe move to other clubs. And so I'll mostly be focusing on the guys still in Europe rather than the guys coming back to MLS. And then the guys in Mexico, well, I did a video on them a couple days ago. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and check out and analyze their transfers. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Let's make this channel grow. And don't forget to like this video, make people find us. All right, so that's your job for today, so don't forget to do that. But anyways, let's get started. All right, guys, so let's get started with Paxton Aronson, the younger brother of Brendan Aronson, who is still a Frankfurt player, but it's a good club and there's a lot of good players in the team, so he wasn't getting too much game time. And then when he was actually not really performing. He hasn't really improved since he got there, to be honest, which is a shame. You know, he does have a lot of potential as a young player, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out for him yet. So they did send him on a loan move to Vitesse in the Netherlands, which in my opinion is about as good as a move as he can get, because, you know, him going to another Bundesliga team, I can't really see that happening, because like I said, he hasn't performed there. So what team is really going to want to take a chance on him, especially, you know, a lower team that's struggling to stay in the Bundesliga? So going to the Netherlands is a good move for him. But the thing is, Vitesse, who's usually kind of like a mid-table team in the Netherlands, they're actually in a relegation battle right now, which I did not expect that, to be honest. I've mostly been focusing on like PSV in the Netherlands. I didn't realize they're so low. So it's going to be a battle for him. You know, he's surely going to get some playing time because they need all the help they can get, because they're at the bottom of the table there. It's an 18-team league, and 2 teams get relegated directly, and then there's like a playoffs between the third place team in the second division and then the worst team the third worst team in the first division. So, you know, that's probably what they're going to be aiming for. But yeah, it's kind of a surprise. I didn't expect them to be that low, but you know, we've seen Americans there before. Chelsea would send people on loan there all the time, so it's not a bad club. It's just they're going through a bad situation. But like I said, in terms of his level, it's about as best of a move as we could have hoped for him. I'd rather him go there and struggle and be in a relegation battle than come back to MLS. I think that's going to help him grow quite a bit. Also, you're going to see how his mentality is. You know, if they get relegated, how's he going to come back after that? You know, I have a good feeling about Paxton, but I think that's a good move for him. I really am happy about it. Surely going to get some playing time. And fun fact, Eloy Room, who was at Columbus Crews in that team in Vitesse, but hopefully don't get relegated, guys, because I'd like to see him pull him out of that relegation fight and keep him up in the first division. That'd be pretty nice to see, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with Paxton. Guys, and we also have Ethan Horvath, who moved to Cardiff City on a permanent transfer from Nottingham Forest. He was not getting any playing time really ever since they moved up to the Premier League, since they got promoted. He was behind Matt Turner and Vladi Komos, and now they signed a new goalkeeper, Sills, who's probably going to bench Matt Turner, so that would have pushed Ethan Horvath to be the 4th choice goalkeeper, which I don't think his level is a 4th choice goalkeeper in the Premier League for a team that's closer to being relegated than being in a European spot, which I don't think Nottingham Forest are going to be relegated, but more on them in a little bit. But anyway, so he did get transferred over to Cardiff City, which is a team that's actually kind of there in the promotion battle. They're trying to get into that playoff position, which is usually the 6th spot, the first spot in the championship. That's the last spot where you could qualify for the promotion playoffs. They're kind of fighting up there. It's a hard battle. It's always a hard battle in the championship. But I think Ethan Horvath is most likely going to end up becoming the starter at this team. They got this goalkeeper, Jack Alnwick. I honestly don't know too much of him. I really haven't watched Cardiff City play in a while, but he seems to be the starter as of right now. Based on what I see just on stats and stuff, I think Ethan Horvath might be a better goalkeeper than him. And plus, Ethan Horvath does have a proven track record of getting teams promoted. We've seen him do it with Nottingham Forest and with Luton Town this last season. So, you know, that's a good thing to have right there. That's mentally, you know, having a goalkeeper like that, someone that's been promoted back to back. That's a pretty good thing for Cardiff City. They're a club that could definitely make a push to get into that playoff promotion spot and possibly get promoted via that. There's some tough teams too they're fighting against, but I think it's a good move for him, you know, and it's a club that has been in the Premier League before. They have some good experience, you know. I do like the move for him, you know. I think it's going to work out for him. I really do. I think this is about his level of championship. Maybe Premier League is a little bit too much for him. But, he's a solid goalkeeper. He's a solid goalkeeper in this league for sure. So I think that's a good move for him. I really do. Guys, the other golden boy in U.S. soccer, Gio Reyna, has left Borussia Dortmund for a 6-month loan deal to Nottingham Forest, where Ethan Horvath just left and Matt Turner is still at. I think this is a all right move. If I had to rate it, I would rate it a B. He's surely going to get some playing time. But guys, even though we know the quality that he has, especially us US fans, the position he plays in, which is mainly like a 10, that's where Morgan Gibbs-White has been playing for Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest, even though they don't have a good defense, Matt Turner has not been a good goalkeeper for them at all. One thing they have a solid attack. They have, like I said, Gibbs-White. They have Elongo, who's been electric. They have even like Chris Wood coming off the bench normally. Like, they have some good players up front. Like, their attack is pretty solid. I do like their attack quite a bit. They got some solid players up there. So Gio Reyna is not going to walk into a starting spot there. He is a quality player though, and he could win that over. One thing that does kind of concern me is Gio Reyna is a little injury prone. We've seen him get injured quite a bit in his young career. I mean, the man's only 21. He just started. He just was able to start drinking legally just this last November. So he's a pretty young player, or at least legally in the U.S., by the way. I know other countries it's different, but in the U.S., you can drink when you're 21. But anyways, that's not the point. So he's a young player. We've seen a lot of injuries. Premier League is pretty physical, pretty fast-paced. I'm just kind of afraid for his well-being because he does get injured quite a bit. He hasn't got injured this season. He did come back from an injury at one point, and then he lost, he was sometimes a starter for Dortmund. He wasn't always, but he lost a lot of confidence from his coach, from Terzic. I don't know why. He's a good player. He's performed every single time he's came onto the pitch for him. Almost helped him win the Bundesliga last season, which Dortmund, in typical Borussia Dortmund form, they choked it and they lost it in the last game day. Like I said, he's going to get playing time. He's not going to be a starter. Like I said, if I had to rate it, I'd rate it a B. Hopefully he does get some playing time, immediately, so he can start building up his confidence right away. Nottingham Forest are in a relegation battle, but I honestly don't see them being relegated. I think they're much better than the bottom 3 teams. Like, they're much better than Burnley, Luton, or Sheffield United. Like, they're so much better, which I think they're going to survive. Like I said, their attack is pretty good. They may have upgraded with Sills in their goalkeeping department. I don't know. I've seen him a couple times. He might not be that much better than Matt Turner, but Gio Reyna will certainly be an improvement in this team. He will certainly contribute to them. I mean, I think he's gonna help them stay up from promotion. So let's see how that goes. It's just a 6-month deal. From what I know, there's no buy option, but it is interesting. It's gonna be interesting to have another American in the Premier League, just like his father did play in the Premier League many years ago. It's gonna be interesting to see Gio Reyna for sure. And guys, we also have Johnny Cardoso, who moved from Internacional in Brazil. He actually moved to Real Betis in Spain. And guys, if I had to give this one a rating, kind of like I did with the Gio Reyna one, I wasn't really rating anyone here, but if I really had to, I'd say this is an A+ move for him. He immediately started in the game in the first match that they played against Barcelona. And also you got to consider Andres Guardado did leave. He went back to León in Mexico. And I look at the team, and there's a lot of room for him here to play. He's looked pretty good so far. He's adapted pretty quickly. He's only played 2 games, but so far it's looked like a good move for him. So I'm happy for this move for him. He's looked like a quality player every time I've seen him play. I've seen him play at least twice in Brazil when they played in the Copa Libertadores. I've seen him play a couple times with the U.S. men's national team. So he's looked quality. He hasn't stood out that much, which he's not really the type of player who's going to stand out quite a lot. But he's not he plays a 6, but he's not this typical just hard tackling 6. He knows how to read the game. He has a lot of that Brazilian influence in him. So seeing him go to Spain, I was pretty happy with the move, and so far it's paying off for him. It's only 2 games, but he's looking good so far. So I'm pretty excited about this for Johnny. I think he's just going to improve quite a lot. Not even a bit. I think he's going to improve a lot. There's a lot of potential. I think Johnny in the future might be our starting 6, to be honest. I see more qualities in Johnny than I do in Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams is a good defensive player for sure, but I kind of like what Johnny brings more. you could actually build up with him. Like, you could build out with him. He knows how to pick a decent pass, you know. I do like Johnny. I know he only became part of the program like a couple of years ago. He hasn't been, you know, here since like the U17s and all that, like some of the other guys like Tyler Adams and them. But I do like what I see from him. So I'm pretty happy with this move. Like I said, if I did have to rate it, I'd give it an A+. Real Betis, a good team in Spain, typically fighting for European places. A nice stadium with a lot of fans, really passionate fans. I think it's a great place for him to go, and I would like to see some more of our technical players go to La Liga. I really wanted Gio Reyna to go there. I really did. I thought he would fit pretty good there, whether it was Sevilla or Real Sociedad, which were the rumors. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So, you know, we're gonna have to watch him in England, which is fine because Premier League is a great league too, probably the best one. But you know, the technicality in Spain, like everyone is pretty much technically proficient and then plays in Spain, at least in La Liga. So it's pretty fun league to watch. So it's going to be even more fun now watching Joni, since, you know, we had Yunus Musalim. Still do have Luca de la Torre in there, but it's going to be interesting to see someone a little younger and someone we haven't seen as much as Joni. But I could see the potential there. I'm sure a lot of you guys can. So I'm pretty excited for the move. So I'm glad he made that move there. And guys, kind of a surprise move. Duncan Maguire from Orlando City going on loan to Blackburn Rovers. That I did not expect at all in the beginning of this transfer window. But apparently he had some interest from them and from Sheffield Wednesday. So I was pretty surprised. But Orlando City has had success with sending strikers to Europe, and especially like Daryl Deacon to the Championship. He's looked good so far in his time there. But Blackburn Rovers, you know, they're currently 18th out of 24 teams in the Championship. So they're fighting to stay up. Looks like they might, honestly. And Sheffield Wednesday is actually in the relegation zone. So, you know, he might have been better off going to Blackburn Rovers, which, you know, is a club with a lot more history than Orlando City for sure. For those of you who don't know, they've actually won the Premier League before in the past, in the 90s. So it's a team with a lot of history. You know, we've seen some good players there in the past, like Roque Santa Cruz or Alan Shearer. So, you know, it's a good place for strikers for sure. So it's an interesting move for him. You know, he's only going on loan for 6 months. But honestly, like, he has really nothing to lose here. Like, he has everything to gain. He's going to go to a higher pressure environment. He's going to be playing in the Championship, which is the second tier, but it's the best second tier in the world, hands down. Blackburn Rovers, like I said, they're a historic club. And he's a guy that's only really been pro for like about a year. So the fact that he's already playing in England in the second tier, it's pretty impressive, to be honest. Personally, you know, I don't think Duncan Maguire is going to be anything too special. You know, I think he fits in the league like this, especially for like the bottom teams. You know, he's just like a big striker with good hold-up play, some decent finishing. He did have a good season in MLS with Orlando. You know, he's not going to be your technical striker, but, you know, he's going to get you some goals. And, you know, especially if you need a goal in the last minutes, you know, you throw his big ass up there, like, he's going to get some goals. You know, I don't know if I actually rate him over Jesus Ferreira, to be honest, but as a, like, actual striker, as a 9, I think he is better. He has better qualities, but, you know, there are better U.S. men's national team strikers out there. But it is interesting. He's still a pretty young player. You know, I don't think he's going to develop too much into this incredible striker that can do all kinds of things. But as a center forward, as a classic 9 up there, I think he's a good addition to Blackburn Rovers. You know, I think he's going to help them stay up. I could see him getting a couple goals. Who knows, if he does well, he might even get a permanent move. I know Orlando City was asking for like an outrageous amount of money for him, but like I said, he's only been a pro 1 year, not too proven. He had one good season, but it is interesting. I'm pretty interested. I'm going to check out some Blackburn Rovers games now, just because he's there. I want to see what he does in the Championship. And I mean, those are the big moves in Europe, guys. Obviously, we had a couple guys go back to MLS from Europe, or actually 3 guys, and they all, funny enough, went back to the same team. Georgi Mihalovic, the Rapids, Zach Steffen as well, and Sam Vines. I'm kind of disappointed. I wish Mihalovic would have stayed in Europe, maybe gone somewhere else, but you know, he struggled to get game time in the Netherlands. Not even from one of the, well, I mean, they've been doing decent this season, but, you know, it's not PSV or Ajax. Zach Steffen, I think this is a good move for him. Yeah, it's MLS, but dude needs to play. He was at one point like the 4th choice goalkeeper in Manchester City, so he needed to get the hell out of Dodge and go play somewhere. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to get his play time. Sammy Vines, I don't really rate him, to be honest. I only watched him play a couple times for Royal Antwerp, but, you know, even then he wasn't too impressive. But I think Rapids, going back to the Rapids, that's about his level, to be honest. At least he tried it in Europe. Mihalovic, I'm a little disappointed. I thought he could have done a little better, but you know, I guess that is who he is. And Zach Steffen, who knows what the heck happened to him? His confidence was shot, but he's back in MLS, guys. But anyways, these are the guys, the main moves in Europe. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If you guys think these are good moves, like I said, don't forget to like the video so people could find us, and don't forget to subscribe, because why not? Anyways, y'all have a good one.